Hey, what up, world? You just tuned into the BL Glover Show. I'm your host, Bushan Glover. And y'all greater than y'all limitations, man. He just that camera a little bit. She bring it for you. There we go. Yeah, get that on here. Yeah. We're greater than our limitations. They say we can't do what they hating. Faith is what we need, not a lot, a little bit more than we must see. We're greater than our limitations. They say we can't do what they hating. Faith is what we need, not a lot, a little bit more than we must see. See, one can move a molehill, two can move a mountain, one can move 10, two can move 10,000. They owe us reparations for slavery in this nation. We got to stand up. God promised us He'll never leave or forsake us. We're greater than our limitations. Hey, what up, world? It's your boy Bushan Glover. You're tuning into the BL Glover Show. Entertainment, sports, politics, and money is our thing. So it's Friday, November 20th, 2020. So November 2020. So entertainment, sports, politics, and money. So we can just go and jump right on in. And entertainment. Now last night, 1.7 people watched live the Verzuz Battle between Jeezy and the Ice Cream Man. I think the Snow Cone Man. And that's Gucci Mane. Now I didn't know the true history on Gucci Mane and Jeezy. But it was a segment just a little bit in the midst of the battle, because I took it serious. I was thinking, I was grading round for round, song for song, but then it got to a point where I just had to look at it realistically. And it seems as though as men, as a culture, we're really starting to come into our own. But before I get into my reaction, a lot of times people tell me, why do you fuse politics and what you talk about? Because I would do a live or something, and I would say something and have people vibing with me. Then I'll go say something politically, against the Democrats or something, and it kind of. So last night, before the pre-show, they had the DJ bumping music and all of that, and I'm sitting back, listening to the music, got my little speaker out, I'm vibing, and before the verses started, they said we have a special guest. And I'm thinking it's Michael Buffer, the person from boxing. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm thinking that, right? But they brought up Stacy Abrams, the queen of the Divine Nine, because she needed to come in, I guess because it was in Magic City strip club, and the two rappers are from Atlanta. So I guess she wanted to chime in, and it was so awkward because it seems like we let her in the man cave or the locker room. And I'm sitting back like, why is Stacy Abrams even involved in what's going on? Because like I said, black women own the Democratic Party, and those are our sisters. And I guess they let her come in there because, out of respect. But you could hear they didn't want her there because it was like, all right, we got you. All right. But with the verses, now Jeezy and Gucci Mane have some history, and I would say 15 to 20 years ago there was an shooting incident, and in the middle of the show Gucci Mane decided to speak on it, got that nigga in the dirt, just started banging like this was real. But Jeezy stepped up and manned up and said, hold on, bruh, my nickel, that was 20 years ago. Gucci Mane go 15. He said, I don't care, whatever it is. And when he spoke on the killings, the Nipsey Hussles, the what's that one guy, MO3, what's the other ones? I'm not sure. It's a few of them that got hit.
There was like King Von.
MO3.
Yeah, and the MO3. Those are like the main two that like come to mind
within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and that MO3 is a talented guy. I looked at one of his videos. I mean, he actor, but when Gucci Mane went there, it brought a little warmness to my heart to see Jeezy kind of step up and take on the mindset of Abel. And when I say Abel, because Cain killed Abel, and one thing that we got to do, we got to push back on the spirit of Cain, because clearly Jeezy is on that side. He benefit from the murders. He benefit from the street, because he said it himself. He said, "I told you when you called me, if I can't do it street, I wasn't gonna do it. Not street, S-T-R-E-E-T. He said street. I can't even spell that. But when you really look into, and kind of peel the layers back. So my mindset said, go ahead and go to Gucci Mane's Instagram. See how many followers he got. So Gucci Mane has like 14 million followers. And that man is only following one person. And that one person is his wife. So clearly, Gucci Mane benefits off of destroying the culture. He benefits off of, pushing that narrative of killing, murder. And it's a culture, because T.I. and Jeezy, a lot of rappers are getting pushed back by the youngsters that's in the game, basically telling them to stay out of their business. And I'm sitting back like, what kind of business is that? To the point where you have to tell somebody to not say something because you want to keep the killing, you want to keep on murdering, you want to keep on profiting. But one thing, all good things come to an end. And right now, that whole era, that murder, kill, we're going to have to push back on that. And when I say push back on it, we have to pull back the layers and understand why things are the way that they are. And the things are the way that they are because the record labels, and I think we spoke on it on a couple episodes ago, are investors in the private prisons. So if you sign a record deal, okay, I think they want you to push the envelope because that's the only way you can actually get signed. Now, you got a lot of independent artists that's out there that's doing their thing, which is good, but if you're trying to get a deal, I mean, I know I could get a deal right now, Rashid, if I made a song called Kill, Murder, Murder, Kill, Kill 'em, Murder, Shoot 'em, Bust his head, hey, Kill, Murder, Bust his head, Bust caps. Nigga, they'll sign me, multi-million-dollar contract, because they want us to either to get in that game, and death or jail is guaranteed. And from a record executive perspective, if you have an artist that's pushing that envelope, when they go to jail, you benefit, and when they die, you benefit. Tupac made Universal, made some rich people. The killing of Biggie, Puffy got rich. So we're going to really have to look back and push back and try to understand the systemic stuff. Because you remember when we was in school in biology, we had to break down that fraud. We're going to have to break down the systemic racism and talk to the people and let the people know the truth. Because we have 400 years of equity in this nation. We're not going to pass that up. But the music-wise, I listened to Jeezy's album. And it's a clear indication that Jeezy was promoting an album. Because I thought he was going to go against T.I. But going up against Gucci Mane, that was perfect because T.I. has some hits that I don't think Gucci can actually hang with. But we're going to have to really understand and take ownership, because that Verzuz Battle, that was a good, personally how they made it a competition. But the fact that we're starting to push back on the gangs, we're starting to push back on the murder, because Gucci Mane was sitting back talking about his $4 million worth of jewelry. Like Jeezy hit him with it, let's battle real estate. Okay, so that's that buttering guns that Melvin talked about in Baby Boy. That butter, that stuff that depreciates with value. But last night, that I had to give it a tie because I got to keep it pushing time-wise. I have to give it a tie only because song-wise I was going to go with Gucci Mane, but when he kind of went there, and then he had a song called I'm a Dog. That man said I'm a dog about 100 times before he even started the hook. I'm watching Verzuz live and I tried to fast forward. I'm like, oh, it's live. I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. He said I'm a beater like a dog, treat her like a dog, slap her like a dog, stroke her like a dog. And I'm sure Stacy Abrams was sitting back like, okay, what did we get ourselves into? But we're gonna have to change the narrative, y'all, because if we're going to survive, we're gonna have to change the narrative. And from an entertainment perspective, these youngsters, they out there, man, they doing their thing. And with the MO3 and what was the other guy? King Von? Yeah, King Von's manager said some, he broke it down. I watched the interview with him and he broke it down to the point where he said, these youngsters are, street, and they come up, become millionaires and rich, and then that street catch up with them. So karma is a what, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, there was one more, but he's not dead, but he got shot. Lil Boozy.
Oh, Lil Boozy?
Yeah.
And that was MO3's home, not his homeboy, but like his big homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what's the status on Boosie? Is they giving anything on Boosie?
So basically what they're saying is that, because there was one report that's saying that he might need to get his leg amputated.
Oh, no.
But then another report counteracted that, saying that his manager says that says won't need leg amputated following shooting.
Okay, so let's pray for him. But like I said, them guns, man, we got to put them down, man. We got to defeat and kick the spirit of Cain, man. And like I said, karma is a what, so we're gonna have to figure this out. But entertainment, sports, and politics. So in entertainment block, we're gonna move to sports. But the entertainment, I gave it a tie. I could not make a decision who was better than who, because like I said, they, when it comes to West Coast rap, New York, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Cube, people on that level, Dr. Dre, these, I don't want to say it, but I gotta go Obama on it. It was like the JV Squad. Like the JV Squad, but it was pretty entertainment, and like I said, we had a something to look forward to yesterday. So entertainment, sports, politics, and money, and including in that entertainment block, there was a documentary that came on this week, and it was called Smoke, Black American Marijuana. Did you see that? Well, check it out. It's a documentary on BET, and it's talking about the legalization of marijuana and how we still have people in jail right now on marijuana convictions, and marijuana is legal. But one thing that kind of stuck out to me, history is documented, and documented wise, Kamala Harris was actually on the show. And she's a prosecutor, district attorney, all of that. But history is documented. So on this documentary, I fell asleep on it and I woke up and watched it again because I heard her explaining, yes, Kamala Harris, the vice president, some of my friends were locked up on marijuana charges, people that I know. Can you believe it? And it's legal now. And I'm sitting back and I fell asleep and I woke up. Okay, and I watched her say that again, and I was waiting for her to come back and say, and the sad thing about it, I was a prosecutor and a public defender, and I did my job to the letter of the law, and I have some convictions, and once Sleepy Joe gets confirmed, we're going to go ahead and ascend all the non-violent marijuana drug convictions and expunge your record. That's what I was waiting on her to say, but she didn't say that. So it's kind of weird to have her on the show as the prosecutor, but you control the history if you could document it, because 30, 40 years from now, people are not going to know her from any of her negative spin. They're going to only see her as the, vice president and all that good stuff. But once Joe gets confirmed, that's when it's on, because now we know who to go to and what to do. So entertainment, sports, politics, and money. Let's go ahead and get into the sports block. Give me a hand for that. Let's go ahead and get into the sports block. Now, last week we talked about the NBA draft, and we had In my draft board, I had LaMelo Ball going first. But he ended up going third to the Charlotte Hornets. And the funny story, the backstory of that is his father has always been saying that he could beat Michael Jordan in a one-on-one. So now your son's the first pick in the 2020 draft, so clearly you're gonna get a chance to be in the same room with him. So we're gonna see how that panned out. But one thing, I give a hand clap for LeVar Ball. You got to give a hand clap for LeVar Ball, because as a father of a son and a daughter, a parent's dream and a parent's goal is for their children to have better opportunities. So I was there for my son all the way until he graduated college. Cool. Played football, got a full ride, successful. We there. All right. But when you talk about having 3 sons and 2 gets drafted into the NBA top 3, that's unheard of. And when I say unheard of, it's only 1% that makes it to any professional league. But to have 2 sons, not twins. We got sets of twins out there. The Tiki Barber and his brother. Got a couple twins in the NBA. The Morris brothers and what's the other guys? Can't think of their name right now.
The Holiday brothers.
Holiday. Who else? The twins. The big
Morris.
No, the Neanderthal-looking ones with the wild hair. Lopez.
Brooke and Robin
yeah,
Lopez.
Yeah. So, but you're talking about 3 sons, and this one here was the freshman, on Chino Hill's basketball team when it went undefeated, I believe, and they won state. And his father said at that time that the youngster, was the guy. But when the father started, maneuvering and doing leagues, and he lost his eligibility, and people were sitting back saying, there you go, it's not going to happen. But for us to land in 2020, for this youngster, that's what he's at, 6'6". I mean, he's and plays like magic. I mean, and it's the little brother of Lonzo Ball. So usually the little brother is better than the big brother, because the little brother learned from the big brother. So the lumps that Lonzo took, LaMelo not gonna have to take. And I can't, like I said, basketball season gonna start around Christmas, but it's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be a fun year, basketball wise. So let's give it up for LeVar Ball for being a father of the year, for having 2 sons in the NBA top 3. And LeVar Ball is the reason we like the guy is because he's like one of the homeboys. They say he's toxic, they call me toxic. They say he's cocky, they call me cocky. That's who we are. And that's a man that gets an opportunity to live that life. Because a lot of us can't be who we are because, we have to be in pocket because we need, our jobs, we need our security, we need our comfort. But when you on that level and you have a plan and not believe, I think he knew his sons was going to be in the NBA because he took ownership of that. So entertainment, sports, politics, and money is our thing. But like I said, the man is a man. He's not toxic. We're not toxic, but we're going to reestablish ourselves since our sisters are, soaring and running the Democratic Party and doing their thing. We're going to establish ourselves so we can partner up with our sisters down the road. But we can't be in the same room at the same time. Just like the president and the vice president sometimes can't be in the same room, just in case something happened. There has to be a predecessor. Okay, that's why they don't fly together. So, entertainment, sports, politics, and money. I'm gonna move on to politics real quick. Now, Trump is tripping. I mean, listen, I did not vote for Joe Biden. I did not vote for Joe Biden. Okay, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. But it comes a point in time where you get to a point and you say, hey, enough is enough. And we know without a shadow of a doubt, some things happen. Okay. The harvesting of the ballots, we know that, okay? We know that, there was some hanky-panky going on, but to the point where our democracy could be compromised globally is the problem. The world sees us, and if you look at world news and read articles, world news-wise, they are spinning in a different direction, okay? Because they don't understand how the process works. Once the election comes, the inauguration is not till January 20th. And then they have to confirm I don't have the precise date, but they are going to confirm the ballots. I think the first or second week in December. Okay, so no matter what happens, he can't just not leave the White House. He can, act the way that he act. He can feel the way that he feel. Because I don't blame him. I mean, if somebody told me that Donald Trump will get 10 million more votes than he did in 2016, you would assume that he would win the election, but this is not the case. And like I spoke on last week, with the 3/5 rule, half of white America voted for the party of slavery, and half of white America voted for Donald Trump. So blacks, we're in the best position that we could be in, because there's nothing that happens that God didn't ordain. So we are in the right situation right now to make sure we do what we need to do. Because if you look up Exodus 20:20 in terms of biblical verse, it's a test. And right now we're being tested. Okay? Right now we're being tested. And if you have any drive, if you have any ambition, any goals, right now is the time. Right now is the time, because God's people will come out with great wealth. So why 50% of America voted for the Democratic Party, the party of slavery, and 50% of white America voted for Donald Trump, and black America, we was all over the place, which means that we're going to consolidate our vote. Now, we lost our sisters and we lost the LGBTQ community, which is fine, but we're going to have to establish ourselves and have allies on both sides, because we got midterms in 2022, and then we have a presidential election in 2024, and I don't think President Trump is going anywhere. So the Democrats are going to have to come correct. So now that Joe Biden, it's looking like he won the election, the new progressive Democrats are making demands. And like black America, in the leadership of black men, we have demands as well, but the Democratic Party is right now having its awakening, because there's a progressive, there's a moderate, and there's a conservative branch. But the progressives, the Green New Deal and 100%, all of that, the green stuff, which we have to push back on. They got a senator, brother. Let me see this brother's name. And this brother is a freshman congressman out of New York, Jamal Bowman, Democrat. He's a new member of the squad. So I got a soundbite of the congressman's elect. He hasn't even come into office yet, but this is what he's demanding from, I'm gonna play this, turn it down a little bit. This is what he's demanding from the Democratic Party. And I told y'all it was coming. We next up, check this out. This is Jamal Bowman, Democrat, New York, is a new member of the squad. Check this out.
Black and brown communities organized across the country to make sure Joe Biden won the White House. And he did that. But now it's time for payback.
Woo!
And now it's time to make sure that we invest the resources necessary to rebuild our nation in a way that is representative of all of us.
That's what I'm talking. Give a hand clap for Jamal Bowman. So that's a freshman. That's a freshman, newly elected Democrat congressman. So what I'm saying is, look at the party. And we talk about the Green New Deal, whoever the sponsor is, AOC, whatever her name is. Yeah, I think it's AOC. She was right there in the cup looking at that brother like she is so proud to have her own personal coalition. So we're going to see if the Hillary Clintons and the Barack Obamas, if the party's going to remain the same, because we know the truth. And like I said, I didn't vote for the party of slavery, but I'm sure Jamal Bowman knows that the Democratic Party is a party of slavery. So therefore, there's going to have to be a cleansing of the party. There's going to have to be a cleansing of the party. It's going to have to be some type of atonements. And we're going to have to talk about the money, because we have 400 years of equity. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. And then in entertainment, sports, and politics, I'm going to go ahead and use this in the politics block. NASA. We had can you look up the launch? I got a brother. He could be my brother. I don't know. My father was a Rolling Stone. We had a launch from SpaceX to the space station. They have their first male black residents on the space station. No. I just want you to just pull it up. I got a little sound bite from it as well. Yeah, because what I'm saying is the driver of the what's the name of the
It's called the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket.
Okay, the SpaceX Falcon 9 Rider.
No, it's the SpaceX Falcon 9.
Okay, the SpaceX Falcon 9. Now, the SpaceX Falcon 9 was driven, and I'm finna mess y'all head up right now, especially if you know me, by a brother named Victor Glover. Now, if I was in a time machine or got a chance to find out the future, and 20 years ago, and they said in 2020, there will be a man with the last name Glover flying into space. At that time, my initial thought would have been like, oh man, my son gonna be an astronaut. But Victor Glover. Now, I did not look up Mr. Victor Glover purposely, because I don't want to look up his history, and he know who his father is. He has a beautiful family. I want to look it up and say that, you know, a single mom, you know, he don't know his daddy and all of that, because like I said, my father was a rolling star. And I'm gonna check the story out, because this could be our brother. So I mean, and he driving space capsules, so this is a, you know, it's a step up, you know, it's a step up. And I got a sound bite from Victor Glover, so turn that down. I'm gonna play a little sound bite, because when you look up and see the moon and it looks like a star, that's the space station. Check this out, Victor Glover.
I hope that this inspires people to literally and figuratively look up. I really think having something to look up to now, especially as we bring 2020 to a close, it's just something that we all need.
Hey, give a hand clap for Victor Glover, man. A brother driving a space capsule. And right now, he's the first black male resident on the International Space Station. So when you look up and see the moon, that little star-looking light, that's not a star. That's the International Space Station. On a clear night, it's real bright too. So entertainment, sports, politics, and money is our thing. So still in the political and the politics block, like I said, black America, the Democratic Party is going to have to pay up, man. The Democratic Party is going to have to pay up. Entertainment, sports, politics, and money. Now, politically, we're going to, you know, kind of wait and see, you know, how this thing plays out, because, you know, the game is chess, not checkers. So we have to, it's their move. So we have to see what they do before we figure out what maneuverment we're going to make moving forward. But we're going to be all right. And I promise you that we are going to be all right. And then the money-wise. Now, money-wise, there's a brother, or there's a singer. His name's Isaac Hayes. He got a son, well, a grandson. I think it's Isaac Hayes III. This brother raised over $1 million. He raised over $1 million for an app called FANBASE and crowdfunding. And our money. Now, this is a startup. Now, it's pretty much like Instagram. And obviously, it's partnered up. It's black owned. $1 million is raised and goes, that's in the first phase. And then the Alt A phase is going to open up in terms of where direction it's going to go in. But I'm going to wait before I speak on that, because, you know, I invested and I haven't got my docs yet. Tried to post a few pics last night. Had to, you know, report the little bugs that's going on. So, you know, it's a startup, and we understand that, but we're going to have to start looking into the future, because good men leaves their children an inheritance. And by us doing that, we're going to have to not just sign on to the wage earner for life. Now, being a wage earner, you know, making an hourly kind of funds your future. When I say funds your future, it gives you the resources, give you the security, it gives you the comfort that you need, you know, to live and survive. But, you know, at what point in time are you going to utilize the gifts and the talents that God has bestowed upon you? And we're at a point in time where if you're not utilizing your gifts and your talents, you know, there are some people out there that will take your talent and utilize it. You know, it's a lot of stuff that I slept on, you know, I thought about, and then next thing, a year or two later, I see it on TV. I'm like, wait a minute, I should have jumped on that, because we don't control the atmosphere. We don't control ideas, you know, because if we don't use it, somehow it will maneuver on to another person. Because every time I see Keyshawn Johnson, I feel like Eddie Kane. Nigga, how does it feel to be me? Every time I see him. Every time I see him. Crenshaw, Dorsey, same demographics, you know, the whole nine. But just the climate, man. Let me go ahead and sit down a little bit. So entertainment, sports, politics, and money. So moving forward, man, it's time to, and like I said, I'm putting my, you know, me who I am, you know, on the line. Meaning I could go and do and figure out some things and do whatever I choose to do, but for some reason, I have no choice but to do what I'm supposed to do. And that's to serve. And when I say serve, you know, serving comes in, you know, a whole different multifacets of ways. But I'm talking about advancing the culture, advancing the community, doing, you know, what we didn't do, you know, stepping up to the plate and being mentors, you know, helping our youth. Because if you look at we talked about the shootings and the killings, you know, in terms of the rap industry. But if you look at gangs, crime is up right now. Murder is up right now. And what it looks like is, you know, when you talk about gentrification, you know, you let the property value go down and then you bring it up, but right now it's going down. So it's time to buy and it's time to build, because with this 400 years of equity that we have, you know, we're going to have to just basically build from where we are right now. Build from where we are right now. And when I say build from where we are right now, it's not just sitting back and not understanding what's going on, you know, not being involved in what's going on, not communicating, because we're going to have to create something that doesn't exist right now. And like I said, the channel, the page is A Better Black America TV, but what is a better Black America? What does that look like? What does our future look like socially and economically? So if you got ideas, if you got concepts, and, you know, we're going to be partnering up, I'm going to make myself more, not approachable, but more connectable, because you can connect with me, but, you know, I have to establish, you know, partnerships, you know, because I got a lot of stuff going on. And like I say all the time, I'm just a one-man band and I could use some help. So if you are a kindred spirit, like-minded, like-kinded, you know, then we're going to rock together. Because like I said, this is the 7th show, and we're going to keep at it. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep chopping wood and, you know, see where this thing goes. And entertainment, sports, politics, and money, that's going to branch off, because right now I'm looking to do this thing daily. Because once a week, you know, it's not enough. And then when you use Facebook and all of that stuff, that's not cool. Because I watched that's what I wanted to talk about. I watched the hearing this week with Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey. Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO, creator of Facebook. Jack Dorsey is the creator of Twitter. Facebook owns Instagram, and Alphabet wasn't there, which is Google, and Google owns YouTube. So while they were talking to Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey and asking these guys these questions, I was astonished to how these two individuals responded to Congress and said, you guys have to pass a law or a bill to somehow control the algorithm. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, that's what y'all do? And Zuckerberg went on to explain how algorithms create themselves. So if algorithms create themselves, then what happens when the algorithm get out of control? So we are right now dawning on the future. Like Terminator is really not out the question with the machines. Somebody, I think, what's the comedian name? Roy Rice. He posted a live video, and it was these buggies around West Hollywood dropping off food. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if I'm walking down the street, what would happen if I just kick one of them over? Because this is what we're going to have to do to push back the machines. Because in my lifetime, I don't want to see it happen. Now, if my children's children have to fight them, because if I see a drone dropping off a package, if I see a robot walking down the street, I'm kicking it down, because artificial intelligence is replacing humans. And right now, black folk don't have their stuff together to the point where we will allow that to happen right now. We're not going to allow anything to happen until we get what we deserve. Because if you look at history, look at the city like Detroit. We talked about Detroit. At one time, Detroit was the auto manufacturing capital. And when the jobs left, went out the country, went to Mexico, and what happened to the city of Detroit? And you could understand when at the beginning of cars, people was putting in, but then now you have a machine pretty much put everything together. So, and then jobs are downsizing. So we're going to really have to push back. But speaking on the algorithms of that Jack Dorsey, founder, creator of Twitter, Zuckerberg, the founder, creator of Facebook, how they could not answer those questions. We're going to really have to pay attention, because algorithms, like I said, do create themselves. Because if you were to Google "A Better Black America," nothing's going to come up, because Joe Biden got Build Back Better. Okay, there's some other stuff, and then they block stuff. And me personally, I'm gonna have to find a place where I could do something daily, because, like I said, when I would do the walks and do the motivation, encouragement stuff on Facebook, they would block my stuff. And now that I'm, doing the BL Glover show, and it's created its own algorithm. Because last night I Googled it again, BL Glover Show podcast. And instead of having to say, what podcast, I'm going to look at on Accelerate Radio, I'm going to look at it on iHeart or one of the other, Google allows you to play it right there on the page. If you Google BL Glover Show podcast, you go down, you just press play. It's right there. And that's an algorithm that's natural. So you can't, so like I said, I own that. So I get it, how we have to deal with these things. But if you're looking at Facebook, looking at Instagram, it's going to have to be an alt or an alternative. And this is why I'm bringing up that fan base, because that alternative, if we could blow that alternative up, then Google, that's Alphabet, well, Facebook or Twitter, more likely gonna try to buy it. Because I believe Facebook bought Instagram for billions of dollars. And Zuckerberg said it himself. We purchased it because they were a competitor, just like Snapchat. So we got an opportunity from a startup position, entertainment, sports, politics, and money. We got an opportunity from a startup position. And like I said, I'm going to do the groundwork. I'm going to do, like I said, I love my neighbors, I love myself. So I wouldn't ask you to do or share something with you that I haven't really looked into. So I'll be the test dummy. I'll take the hit financially, because like I said, I emailed the help desk yesterday, and they did respond, and it's processing. So once I get my paperwork, and once I get past those objectives and the bugs and all of that stuff to see how it's going to go, then we'll see. But this is an opportunity, and we're looking for other startup opportunities as well, and we're looking into the stock market, because like I said, as long as Donald J. Trump is president of the United States or relevant, we're going to make money in the U.S. stock exchange. Okay, and in New York Stock Exchange, we're going to make money. This is why there's issues with Joe Biden and Trump. Joe Biden, his homies is China, Asian market. Trump is America first, okay? You know, the New York Stock Exchange. So we have to figure this thing out. And like I said, I working a regular 9 to 5, that's cool. But like I said, it funds your dreams, even if it's a career. But some of us, you know, we got to figure this thing out, because me personally, like I was sharing with an associate today, anytime that I go get a regular job, they give me the keys because they want me to run their show. So I know how to drive people's ships. I know how to handle other people's business to a T. So this is the season to actually do it, not for me, but for us, for, you know, the culture, and to right some wrongs. Because like I said, we're going to have to go back and figure out what the issue is. And the 13th Amendment, like I said, that's one on the table, because when we start dissecting the frog, and the frog is systemic racism metaphorically. So once we dissect it, okay, we got to grab, this right here is the heart. That's the 13th Amendment. We're going to deal with each organ at a time, because if we could somehow step in this game and make some noise, then we could get these laws changed. Because when they talk about prison reform, when they talk about Proposition 64, which actually reduced the once marijuana became legal, I think that's the proposition where they you know, you could get your record expunged if it's non-violent. So anyone that's in jail right now on a marijuana charge, non-violent, and they're your family members, I think you need to start doing some research and try to help them get out. Because even if you locked up in jail, you might not know or be abreast or knowledgeable enough, like some inmates, you know, to go to the library, to read the law books and figure this thing out. Some people just in there just doing their time. But if you're in jail on a marijuana charge and marijuana's legal, no, that's insane. That is insane. That is insane. So, Black Alliance Movement, we're aligning ourselves with other black organizations, because, you know, we got the NAACP, the National Advancement of Colored People. I don't know why it couldn't be black, the Urban League. But we're going to be black, all right? We are going to be black. But did you hear Rudy Giuliani trying to make a case out of no case? Did you hear him? Yeah, he had a press conference. He had a press conference yesterday, and he's up there sweating, his hair dye rolling. I mean, he's making all the money that he can make trying to. Yeah, I got a sound bite here, so I got it on my Facebook page. I'm gonna play it. Here, check this out.
Giuliani out here sweating, working hard for that money.
Don't act like it isn't a
Live press conference.
That's not a headline tomorrow.
Look at the
You
sweat.
don't know what a headline is. There isn't a single person in this country that
Blood,
will
sweat, and
believe
tears.
that we have states that are stupid enough
But watch how he go
to
there.
have our vote sent
He
out.
put names on it.
You couldn't possibly
He put names on it.
that
Watch this.
the company counting our vote,
Watch
with
this.
control over our
That's
vote, is owned by two Venezuelans
What?
who were allies of Chavez,
Watch this.
are present allies of Maduro, with a company
He calling out names.
is a close associate and business partner,
Here it goes.
George Soros,
Whoa.
the biggest donor to the Democrat Party,
Oh.
the biggest donor to Antifa,
Oh.
the biggest donor to Black Lives Matter.
Oh.
That's crazy. So that man, he's doing what he's told. I'm sure Donald Trump say, hey man, get out there and just make a case out of no case. But that time's coming up. So if you could go ahead and find out when the delegates have to give their vote, because I know August 20th is the inauguration, but we got to keep that date in mind, because the transition. Because like I said, Trump almost got 80 million votes, and I think Biden has capped over 80 million votes. So about 160 million, and it's only 180 million registered voters. Wow. So you telling me only 20? Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But man, so entertainment, sports, politics, and money. So if you haven't subscribed, Better Black America TV on YouTube, and then I'm gonna get you that information with this fan base. But if you want to, go ahead and look up the interview, and I'm talking to the listeners, Rashid. And go ahead and look up the interview with on the Breakfast Club this week with Isaac Hayes III. And like I said, that's a respectful individual in my personal opinion because of what he's doing, and to be able to raise $1 million from a startup is a beautiful thing. So moving forward, like I said, we're going to establish our allies and, you know, hook up and get with other organizations. But the president, man. But we're going to figure it out. And like I said, no matter what happens, you know, God already ordained it. God already ordained it. Yeah, God already ordained it. So, but entertainment, sports, politics, and money. So let me go ahead and move on because I guess we can't find that date. But and to my brothers, man, like I said, that toxic masculinity, and we're gonna have to push back on that. And you know, if our masculinity offends them, then you know that's their problem. Because like I said, we cannot be silent, because we will be responsible if the killing don't stop. We will be responsible if the things just continue and don't even make any type of change. But last week we talked about that 3/5 rule, man. And that 3/5 rule, we were 3/5 human beings. And since half of white America voted for Trump and the other half voted for Biden, that's 2 and 2. So like I said, you know, we could be the swing voters. We will be the swing voters, and like I said, and we're going to work in partnership with our sisters, because we about to see some things right now. We about to see some things right now, see some things that we ain't never seen before, because America is going through a reckoning, because the black man has decided to wake up and stand up and do what he's supposed to do. We got a caller? All right, we got a caller on line 1. Go ahead, caller.
Brother Bushan L. Glover, greetings, sir. This is your man, King Ed. I just wanted to salute my candidate for president of 2020. How you doing this evening, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm blessed. Man, how you doing? Thanks for calling in.
Well, brother, I was listening to the show, and I love your message. I love your ministry as far as building up our black community. And it's going to take all of us.
Yes.
And I don't ever want you to feel like you are alone. This is the truth about what we are doing. There are too many people who are currently eating off of this corrupt system. Yeah. The best situation I can think of that comes to mind is in entertainment. As you know, Viacom and CBS held Brother Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out show hostage. And recently, one of the young men that Nick Cannon featured on Wild 'N Out,
DC Young Fly,
DC Young Fly, was approached, and they asked him, brother, we want you to step in as the host of the new show, Wild 'N Out.
Okay.
Here's 7 figures. What do you say? And the brother stayed on code and told our oppressor that I cannot in good faith come on your show and get riches for myself.
Right.
And do that to a man who we all know what y'all doing to him.
Right. Right.
And I won't be the one that'll step in and take some money just for me on principle alone. Because I was going to say Kevin Nash, because young Nick Cannon put DC Young Fly on.
Yeah, put him
so
on.
I wanted to make that inference because so many of us remain silent.
Yes.
In hopes that if I get a chance to undermine King Eddie Willis,
they run with it all day.
Bushan L. Glover, and take his spot, I will. That is the sickness, the mental health illness that plagues our community, brother.
Right.
So I want to personally salute you and know that people are listening and paying attention. But we all got to get on code, brother.
That's right. Hey, I appreciate you, man.
And we will, and we're gonna do a show together. Thank you for inviting me to do that.
I got you, brother. I got you. So,
all right, brother. Listen, enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
You too, brother. Thank you. So, I did see that, and I think it was 8 figures they offered, and for the brother to man up and basically, like he said, stay on code. I gotta give that man respect for that.
Okay, so going back to the delegates, the Republican delegates, they would have their vote between August 24th and 27th.
Okay.
And the Democratic delegates, they usually have their votes for their nominee. Just had it on like August 18th. Okay. So that's when the delegates choose their nominees.
Right. Okay.
And there was a total of 4,714 delegate votes. Over 3,558 for Biden, and like 1,151 for Sanders, and 5
for Sanders.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then there was 5 abstentions.
Oh, okay.
And that's throughout the actual states.
So, like I said, we got a little time, but August 20th can't come no faster. Not August 20th, January 20th.
Yeah.
That's inauguration.
Yes. That's the inauguration day, and in the case of any type of,
little hanky-panky.
Yeah.
Some findings. Like I said, in my personal gut feeling, even if they find something, it's not going to be to the multitude to overturn an election. And
there were 44 lawsuits in 8 states have been filed, 16 have concluded. Of these 17 lawsuits in 5 states deal directly with the presidential election, 7 have concluded. And
so they're dropping off.
And 2 presidential recounts in Georgia and Wisconsin have been initiated, and 1 in Georgia has been completed. And it was confirmed that Biden won.
Yeah. So Trump, man, come on, man. Now I understand, like I said, come back in 2024. You still got 75 million voters. You still got a platinum plan. If they don't, like I said, if they don't connect with us, we're gonna hook up with you in 2024. Because, like I said,
just take the L, man.
What's that?
Just take the L. Just take the L.
Like, hey, when you talk about an ego, nah. When you got your lead attorney on national TV, I mean, the man
making a fool out of himself.
I mean, he was sweating.
He looked like a clown.
Yeah. So, I mean, and Rudy Giuliani was the mayor of New York. I mean, you talking about a stand-up person, But like I said, if you paying him that retainer, it is what it is at that point. But this your boy, Bouchon Glover, Entertainment, Sports, Politics, and Money. So next week, man, we're going to really start unpacking and start talking about the plan. Because like I said, we kind of in some type of purgatory, not knowing, the political aspect of it and all that stuff. But it's a clear indication that we're going to have to build from where we are. So, life is what you make it. So we're going to have to make it, the best that we can. And our next move is going to have to be our best move. And that's real. So with that being said, man, we're going to get up out of here. And next week, the same bat station, same bat time. So if you haven't, subscribe to Better Black America TV. You can listen to the BL Glover Show on all your streaming services. And like I said, if you want to see the visual, you can check it out on the Better Black America TV. So always go out with my jam. And hopefully next week, I ain't going to say hopefully, next week I'm going to have the track. So I already talked to the producer last night. We're going to be in the studio tomorrow. So this is the last time y'all going to see me sing it live. Let's go. We're greater than our limitations. They say we can't do what they hear tongue. Faith is what we need, not a lot, a little bit more than the mustard seed. We're greater than our limitations. They say we can't do what they hear tongue. Faith is what we need. can move a mountain. Hey, one can move 10, two can move 10,000. They owe us reparation for slavery in this nation. We got to stand up. God promised us He'll never leave or forsake us. We're greater than our limit. We're greater than our limitation. Thank you for tuning in to the Bill Glover Show. Like I said, next week, same bat station, same bat time. Better Black America TV. You can look at the BL Glover Show, listen to it on all your streaming services. With that being said, man, y'all have a blessed one. It's your boy, Rushion Glover. Peace out.